And in 1919, another conference was held in Paris. And these conferences were all about Pan-Africanism, or Pan-Africa. And the idea of the United States of Africa came to light. And it was all championed by a slave African descendant. And this idea was adopted by our founders fathers of independence, such as Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. You have Samora Machar, and so forth. When Ghana got its independence, if you have time, go listen to the speech of Kwame Nkrumah. And this is what he said. He said, Ghana should not be happy in this day of independence, because the independence of Ghana is not complete until every country in Africa is liberated. The reason I'm bringing this is because when I see my beloved home, Abyei, suffering and is bleeding, I think all of us as South Sudanese, we can come to terms and say that the independence of South Sudan, that we have achieved in 2011, was not and is still not complete until Abyei is free. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want to introduce a very important guest. It's somebody that I have come to know in the past few nights. I always say to myself, is South Sudan, the mother we call South Sudan, is she barren? Maga Tanjit Kada? And I'm kind of getting closer to my answer. You know, today, we came into this hall around 10-ish, 10:30 to put up all these chairs. And this person I'm going to introduce, he was leading us. This chair you're sitting comfortably and this all decoration you see, he was one of the people that worked hard to put this hall together. And it's reminded me what Jesus said, that a leader should be a servant. He came as a master, not to be served, but to serve. It's about time that we see this kind of young leaders rising up in South Sudan that have the heart of servant. And sit in the front seats, but they are ready to get wet. They are ready to do the work. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome to the stage the spokesperson of the first Vice President Tabandengai, Mr. Agel Machar. Let's put our hands together and welcome him.
very much. That was beautiful. Thank you. I don't need to further introduce myself, as my colleague did a wonderful job in introducing me. Actually,
anong atong yaitan kubagden daw koy. Anong diniya kedon tawo gudunyen. Oh ya karyam kejamut jalatin ka jaidan tarif. Gangken why? Oh ya karyam jamut jalatin ka jaidan. Oh gabara mudunyen kajala oh gabara menata kajala oh gabara mudunyen kajala oh gabara menata kajala rajan kalaji banyawan rajul kalaji banyawan dum kedeng jalo jaliaru benyen ambiala jundam pogaya bariam jamu kamu jalan juga jaidan ta wabaramu dunyen tajala wabaramu natar tajala Abyei
Oga Borong Budunyen Abyei Oga Borong. Jadi siapa pasal dama? Pasal cuan cinta era cunang dia beriau belum main. Dek pasal ada teman tuh kan nemu gaban yang wajin. Thank you very much. I will try to keep it short. I came here on Friday evening, and as soon as I finish here, I'll be heading back to Saskatoon, because tomorrow by midday, I'll be boarding my plane from Saskatoon back to South Sudan. I have been here now for over a month with my family in Saskatoon, and I think it has been enough. When I heard that the issue of Abyei was being, there was a gathering about Abyei, I said I had to come. So thank you very much. I'll keep it short. As I was introduced, I come from the presidency of the Republic. So there are certain things they normally tell us to say before we say what is on our mind. Basically the current affairs of where we are with the peace process, that all of us have been looking forward to get it concluded as soon as possible, so that the country can get forward with the issues of developing the country and delivering services to the people. Everybody knows that by 22nd of February, we are hopeful that the government, or the revitalized transitional government of national unity, will be in place. Most of you may have known that we have two issues that are outstanding. One of them being the number and boundaries of states, and the other issues is the second issue is the security arrangements. We are working through them with the opposition, with the help of IGAD and with the help of the government of South Africa, especially David Mabuza, the Deputy President of South Africa. We are going through this in Juba from 3rd to 5th, which is today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow in Juba. David Mabuza is coming, and all the opposition and the government delegates will be discussing how do we break through the deadlock of the number and boundaries of states. I don't want to take any side of argument. I'm from the government side, and if I bore you with argument, I'll only be giving you one side. But what I want to let you know is that the two groups, both in government and opposition, under the auspices of the Deputy President of South Africa, David Mabuza, are working hard to make sure in the next 3 days the deadlock is sorted out, so that we are able to go ahead and form the government on 22nd of February, so that the people of South Sudan can have a break from this nightmare that we have been through since 2013. Also, in pursuit of peace and tranquility in the country, there is also the Rome engagement. Some of you may have heard that, because there are some brothers in the opposition that were not signatories to the revitalized ASIS. Those of General Malongawan, those of Comrade Pagana Mom, and that of General Thomas Shirilu. They've had a meeting with the government delegation in Rome, and they are having another discussion on the 12th of this month, with the hope that some sort of an arrangement can be reached before the formation of the government on 22nd of February so that they can become part of the government either on 22nd of February or shortly thereof, so that all the guns can go silent across the country. We don't want anybody else left behind. President Salva's policy of the big tent is still in place. He's willing to reach out to as many as possible so that all the political forces in the country are brought under one house as brothers and sisters. ونشوف مشاكل الشعب, مشاكل التنمية, and how the responsibilities of the government to protect the people and their property and to deliver services instead of all these divisions and wars. So we hope that 2020 is a year of peace so that we have a break and we move forward in the right direction. Also, with the Sudan, Juba is hosting the peace talks between warring parties of Sudan. Some of you have seen that in the news, and Hemeti has been leaving 15 days of every month in Khartoum and 15 days in Juba. The issues of the Nuba Mountains, the issue of Ingasna, the SPLM has not forgotten. And that raised one big question. If Juba can help Sudan fix the issue of Nuba Mountains and Ingasna, why would he not fix the issue of Abyei? So those are the things. As somebody from the presidency, I had to let you guys know in diaspora that the government is totally determined to end the wars because they are baseless. There is no need for it. As brothers who have fought together bitterly for hundreds of years from oppression and we became independent, it is not us, the same people who liberated this country, that should throw it to the dogs. We have to self-correct ourselves and come back together as brothers and sisters. But today I'm here because of Abyei. And I'm a keen student of history, but I don't want to get involved in history of Abyei. Sometimes when Abyei happens, people go into history and handpick the side they like. The other one to say, so-and-so sold this. It is so-and-so who did this. In 2005, you didn't do this. At the end of the day, all the anger goes without anything being planned way forward. So I want to concentrate, as a young leader coming up in the country, issue of Abyei is some of the challenges that we must face. If you are not going to face the issue of Abyei, then there is no need as a young man to be in politics, because it is a major issue. The Abyei Protocol, which was signed on 26th of May 2004, had some loopholes that were used by the enemies of the people of South Sudan to delay the referendum or not to recognize the referendum of the Abyei people. Especially the fact that the protocol itself opens with the word that Abyei is a bridge between the North and the South. I had questioned this since 2005. Why is it a bridge between the North and the South? Is a bridge? Is it the only way we can go to the North? Why can the bridge be in Ring? Or why can't the bridge be somewhere else? Abyei is South Sudan. Case closed. It should have had the same referendum the same day to the people of South Sudan. So some of those loopholes. Also, Section 6.1, which Section 6 basically which speaks about the residents of Abyei. Everybody knows Abyei, Epidinga. There is no need to go into the protocol and insert who is a resident. To open the door for who should be resident and who should not be resident. Abyei. Simple as that. When you tweet. Okay? There is nothing called resident. Even if I'm here in Calgary, tweet belongs to me. It cannot belong to Mwanjurcho Masalan who came there to sit in Turale. All of a sudden he's a resident and these issues, the agreement was done in a rush. There was a lot of pressure from Bush administration. The agreement was almost collapsing. The people of South Sudan agreed to that protocol. And that's why we are here. But it is not all bad. The SPLM, SPLA leaders tried their best. One, at least they have now identified in 2009 the delimitation of the Abyei borders. These Abyei we are talking about, whether it is the Ngok who are resident of Massacre, Hudud Bitowin. This is a great achievement from CBA. At least we know this land, whether it belongs to North or South, whether the residents are Ngok or what, we know its borders. That was an achievement, and the SPLM government had to go all the way to International Court of Arbitration to go and decide on this issue. That's an achievement that we should all be proud of as the people of South Sudan. Also, we conducted Abyei referendum. Even though they say the government of South Sudan did not endorse it, I was present, and the government of South Sudan financed the whole thing. So the government of South Sudan is behind it, but I didn't create cake. And this is issue, I asked one of the elders, one of the senior comrades, I said, why are you not recognizing this? He said, my nephew, Abyei, is like somebody drowning in the river, trying to swim and is getting exhausted. And we are coming with a boat to rescue it. But unfortunately, our boat is shaking and is leaking. If we don't hold and fix the boat and close the leaking place, we may even go ahead and get Abyei, bring it to the boat, and because of the leakage, the boat itself can drown together with all of us. So that's why we need time to do this. But anyway, that is their excuse as elders. But as young people, time has come for us to chart a new way forward. Why do I say that? South Sudan have always had elders and young people. And the history of South Sudan has been defined by those who are 40 years and below. How? In Anyanyawan, we have seen those from Abyei who started this war. We know all their names. Akonon, those of, including the firstborn son of Deng Majok himself, Hamed Arop or Arobit. Those who started, they started in their 30s, in late 20s, and so forth. In fact, Joseph Lago, when he took over the movement in 1968-69, he was 38 years old only. I, in front of you, I'm 39 years old. Yani Joseph Lago was younger than me when he took over Nyanyawan in 1968. When he said, no, I've had enough. You elders, today is Gordon Machar, today is Agel Jadel, tomorrow is Sachirino Lahore, today is Joseph Odu. No. Me as a young man, I'm going to take over this movement, and within 3 years, he has shaken Nimeri to the point of Nimeri running to Addis Ababa. He was only 38 years old. This is a message clear to the young people, whether from Abyei or from South Sudan. It has repeated itself again in 1983. Who knows how old John Garang was when he established the movement in 1983? I'm going to give it a guess. It is not normal to say that. How old was he? He was 37, he will become 38 in June that year. Al-Harka Badat Yom 16 Mayo, who can 37. But in June that year, he became 38. I am 39 years old. So I'm older than John Garang. When John Garang told Nimeri, enough is enough. So even though the file of Abyei is with Deng Alor, don't expect Deng Alor to find a way out. He's tired. Deng Alor was out before 1983. Do you know how old he was? He was in his mid-20s. Since he was in his mid-20s, now he's in 60s. And we are still looking to him to solve our problems. It has never happened in South Sudan. It is always the new generation, the new page that has to be turned. And time has come to turn this page. My final message is to the people of South Sudan in general. Since this incident in Colombo happened, I have heard a lot of talk on social media. To give credit to the people of South Sudan, some of the people in the social media do not represent us, whether they are from Equatoria, from Upper Nile, or from Barkazal. In most cases, these are people struggling with mental health issues in the diaspora. The Equatorians on the ground have their leaders. They stand with the people of Abyei. It is an issue of national sovereignty and territorial integrity. So we stand together and we will liberate this place. And I myself, I'm not going to waste time anymore talking to Lukabio or talking to Deng Alor. I will identify the youth in Abyei, in our generation, who are willing to do something on the ground so that we get this done. I'm telling this to South Sudan. I will close it by giving you a story. It's called, I normally call it The Man and the Snake. It's about, you know, so some pastor said here, some people sometimes they say, de maxuliep ta flan, de maxuliep ta flan, de maptai. Okay. I'll finalize with that. Thank you very much. Actually, yes. So it is, you know, when that person is dying and it's not you, you don't think it is a problem until it comes to you. But there are many says that say this is not a good plan for human beings. There are many history. There is this thing when the Communist Party came in England, when he said they came for trade unionists, and I did not say anything because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for farmers, and I did not say anything because I'm not a farmer. They came for so-and-so, they came for so-and-so. But finally, when they came for me, there was nobody else that was there to help me because everybody else is gone. That's one example. But I have my own example in a setting in my own village in Twitch. Just imagine a homestead in the village where there is a house, lot, well, and all this kind of stuff. This man had his dura in his place where they keep them. All of a sudden, he had the issues of the rats, mouse, Tom and Jerry. And the mouse was spoiling his dura, which he has worked hard for. So he decided to go to the next small town. And he went and bought a rat trap. The one you do like this. And then you put some trap that will bring the rat there, and then all of a sudden it will break the rat's neck. So just assume, for the purposes of this story, just like cartoon, you know, the burro can speak, the lion can speak, and so forth, for just the purpose of the message that I want to drive home. So when the rat trap was brought, the first night it killed one of the rats that is normally sent for a consent. The one that goes first to assess what is going on before people can go and take. So the following day, the morning, they had a meeting. They called a parade. And their leader said, Jamana, we have a problem. There is something that has been introduced in this house. The rats, they also think that's their house. So there is something that has been introduced by this crazy person in our house. And this thing is very deadly. You touch it, you are done. If we don't go to it, we will die of hunger. What do? They brainstorm. It was a difficult challenge. So they formed a committee, a diplomatic committee. They decided that they wanted to go and ask the other animals in the homestead to help them deal with this problem. So they formed a diplomatic committee and they went on a diplomatic mission. So they first started with a chicken. Agel said, my brother, you tell your people to come and help us with this. It is too big for us and it's always ready to kill us. But since you are a little bit bigger than us, if two of you come and help us remove it, we can go on, you can go on with eating what you eat outside and we'll go on with our food because our existence has been threatened. The chicken told the diplomatic committee of the rats. He said, you rats, your main problem is the fact that you don't sleep at night. Why you don't eat during the day like normal people? You are the one causing problem to this. It's not my problem. For me, I don't even see by 6 o'clock. When the sun goes down, I don't see. So this problem, but at night, is your problem. So they came back, they reported to their leader that the first diplomatic mission has failed. The guy did not give up. It was an existential threat. They were basically in trouble. So they said, please, go and try the boat. He went to the boat. So the boat asked, what are you guys eating from this guy? He said, we are eating rat. He said, rat? Oh my goodness, you don't know this guy? When even before this rat, they have come, even before they are harvested, he almost kills us because of this. Even if we just go to the shamba, do not touch rat. But this guy said, but this is the only thing we eat, what do we do? So God said, no, I'm not going to be part of it. For me, I go and eat grass. That mission failed, so he was sent to the car. Come on, our homestead. I did could talk wing. So much of the wing command said, no, please. I left a long time ago. I go to the bush, I eat grass, bring my water, come and sleep in peace. You guys are troublemakers. You better quit this idea of eating at home. You go to the bush and eat outside. So the rat came back, they had a meeting, the diplomatic mission has failed, nobody wants to help them. They are alone. So they decided, they said, okay, look, if we don't go outside to look for food, all of us are going to die. So what we are going to do, we are going to be sacrificing one person every night to go to the red trap, and as soon as the red trap kills it, we rush in before the man resets it, and we come out. It became a difficult. One young person volunteered and said, no problem. I'll be the one to go in, but make sure you get enough food for at least 1 month so that we don't die every day. At least we die one person a month. So as he was preparing himself to go and sacrifice himself, he heard a red truck go off. Normally it goes off, chak. So he looks around and he said, who went before me? And he was the one that was supposed to go. So the man, the owner of the house, heard the red truck. So he's going there thinking that it is a rat, to remove it and reset it. Unfortunately, the red trap had actually caught a snake. So as he put his hand there, the snake bit. The snake was in distress and very angry, and you know an angry snake bites very badly. So he was bitten by a snake. He shouted. He became disoriented. The wife woke up. Everybody was crying. They rushed him to the hospital, the near town. The doctor told the woman, there is no need for you to stay here. We are going to assess what kind of poison it is, what kind of snake, and we'll look for an antidote for your husband. Meanwhile, you go back home and prepare soup for your husband. So the woman went back home and went straight, and you know what the woman did? Where the woman going to get the soup from? Where do you think the woman is going to get the soup from? From the chicken, straight up. So he went and got the chicken, slaughtered the chicken, made the soup, rushed back to the husband. So the first guy to be called to help the rat was the first to die. He was saying that he doesn't see at night. Now he cannot see for life, for good. So the soup was taken to the clinic. They have identified the poison type, but they did not have the antidote in that clinic. So the woman has to rush to another bigger town to get that antidote. And she was given the price. So what else she do? She doesn't have a bank account like you guys. No cards, no credit cards, no nothing. So she goes home and gets the goat. Takes the goat to the butchery. And the butcher just slaughtered the goat in front of her. Gave her the money. She ran with the prescription to the town to go and bring the antidote. So the second animal in the homestead is gone. As soon as she came back to the clinic, the man has died. It was too late. She came back home crying, and of course for grandma, it has to be the bull, it has to be the cow. So everybody else started dying. The woman came back home and said, this small black thing, it has to go. Why would you go and bring her to Julga? She took the red trap. She's upset with the red trap for killing her husband and threw the red trap outside. So the following day, the guy who was willing to sacrifice himself went forward for a consent. There was nothing. He came back and said, by the way, this thing is gone. So they had a big celebration and they went on with their normal life, whatever they eat and so forth. What is this message telling the people of South Sudan? Of all the 32 states? The people of Abyei, the sons of Abyei, for those of us who were in the Red Army, anybody who tells you the people of Abyei are cowards, it's somebody who has not gone to the bush. They fought fearlessly. There is no region where the bones and the blood of the children of Abyei did not shed. Mafi. I think Mother can come on Abyei can weep. So they are part and parcel of our freedom. And the fact that we can sleep peacefully and they are bleeding is inconceivable. And we in this generation, it is unacceptable. So
in the ending, my yogi marwanya bully. Oh, I way loot. Oh, I loot. In the ending, my yoga marwanya bully. Oh, I loot. Oh, I way loot. The ending, my yogi marwanya bully. Oh, I loot. Oh, I way loot. Clear camp, a young dem majority at the zaman and take out and job in you do. And your kite, it had when you do. Go malicious can bark Zal, go young yal, Kula Kulon pin, Garamabur, Kuleka yik, Kajal wood, or Lugo quite quick, Kulilka, Piang ding, Reno Poli, or yik, Kalanjin cop, Coca yik, Kalanjin cop, like a panjal barkazal, Yakararu, Piang ding, Majuk, and Japan, Aboli, Goga kite, Piang Hakon.
Thank you very much. That is just, I do not want to mention names, but you have seen him and how he goes to war. We have seen it as Jejaman. By the way, the cat is Jejaman. He is somebody, when the battle comes, he takes off his debura so that he's in front line with you. One day he was asked, he said, because I look small, I can hide with you together. But if I put debura, the enemy will know that I'm important. And if they come for me, all of you will die in my defense. So I'm protecting you by looking like you. How can I sleep in Juba peacefully while Bian's brothers are bleeding? It is impossible. This has to end. And we are not going to allow the red trap to kill all of us. We will organize and we will keep the red trap out as soon as possible. By the way, my own grandfather was killed by Massacre. His village, my village in 1986, was burned down like this village. And he refused to run because his sons, my uncles, had gone to the bush in 84, but they were deployed in different places. He actually sent them and said, Mitke, Masiri again one there. Chingel then. But now they have been given guns. That's why they are treating us like women. Please, go and get the guns. And when he went there, they were deployed somewhere else. So he refused to run. He said, no. If my children are carrying guns and I'm still running away from Assyria, I'd rather die. And he died, and he was burned in his heart like this. So Massacre is not an enemy of Abyei alone. He's an enemy of the people of South Sudan. And all of us must wake up and see. Thank you very much. Okay. I've been told to shut up. So, no, it's okay. She's my cousin. Her dad and my mom are brother and sister. So do an Arab and another Arab. And I know her mind. If she's standing next to me, she will not go until I give her the microphone. My contribution, I was at the end of my trip going back to South Sudan. What I will do are pledges. And I will do 3 pledges. There's my pledge, the pledge of my wife, and the pledge of the first vice president. We will achieve it. Matter of fact, if you guys recognize, it was the first vice president, General Taban Dengai, on behalf of the government of South Sudan, who wrote a statement within 24 hours condemning what happened in Column Village. If some of you have read it on social media. So he has already shown his commitment that he's standing with the people of Abyei and look for a solution to solve this problem. So to Jonathan Buchanan, if I lie here, it will be up to him to rescue me from this lie. For me, I will contribute $1,000. My wife will also contribute $1,000. And those one will be found with my wife in Manywaka. Now, no. That's exactly. How did you know? I will take this video and I will show it to him as part of my report of what I have done here while on holidays. And I will tell him that there was a fundraising, and actually it has been done across even in South Sudan. People are contributing everywhere. So I will tell him that writing statements alone, without any small action towards solving these problems, is not enough. So you, as General Taman Dengai, with your capacity, you must add your voice here. And he will. We, the small people around Kwajitka, are the ones who decide what they do and what they not do. Wachida, submissive wife. She will not say no, she will not say, and she will keep bothering you until you do it. She will real, but she panic. Honey, I want that gold. Honey, I want that gold. Tomorrow, and we will be white gold. So for us, we say that this kalam okay. Until he does it. So I'm not gonna say how much, but I will take my message. I will take your message to him, so that he is part to this and to help you as well. Thank you very much, and my cousin is said enough is enough. So thank you guys, and I have to prepare myself to help them.
Thank you. I know you can talk for hours, and you know, Mama Mill, like in the mind is a zaman. We have no time, and you're talking, you know, good things, you know, facts and beautiful things. But I'm thinking about money because these people, you know, victims, they need money. So thank